この遊戯王モンスターの名前はファストペンギンです。The name of this Yu-Gi-Oh monster is First Penguin. First Penguin usually meaning a sign of encouragement because the first penguin takes a risk going into the water.
You first. No, you first.
There are predators in the water, but there's also a reward, potentially fish. And by going into the water, you are encouraging others to join you in going into the water.
What you waiting for?
And it's very fitting because this is a water starter. The first penguin, a starter for the penguin deck, but also other water decks will be able to enjoy using this card. This is a level 1 water winged beast, and it has 2 effects. The first effect, if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner. Now this first effect is not once per turn, so if it does get removed and you happen to have a second one, you can just special summon it. And the second effect is very similar to a 7 Tachyon type effect. But instead of shuffling a card back into the deck, you discard 1 card and reveal 1 water synchro monster in your extra deck as a cost. Then you can add 1 water monster with the same type as the revealed monster, but 1 level lower from your extra deck to your hand. So if you revealed a level 6 fish synchro monster, you can add 1 water fish that is a level 5 to your hand. Then you can change this card to face down defense position. That is an optional effect, you do not have to do that. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except water monsters. Water decks like Christians and Dynomist that do not like water locks will probably not use this card. We do have ways to search it. There is the continuous spell Royal Penguin's Garden, which can add a penguin to your hand. This also has an effect that lets you change the level of 1 penguin monster on the field by 1. So you can change it to a level 2 tuner if you want by discarding 1 card. We also have 1-for-1, which can special summon a level 1 from your deck, though you will have to discard. So you discard 1 card to special summon the penguin, and the penguin discards another card. So that's a lot of discarding. Unless your deck loves discarding, you may not want to use this. I'm going to show you guys 3 different lists. You can pause at any time to look at this information, but they all show data on what synchro monsters you can reveal and then which monsters you can add to your hand. This one's more generic. You see the level of the synchro, you see the level of the monster you can add to your hand, and the type. This one's a bit more specific about which cards can be added that have some type of relevancy or can be relevant someday or have been in the past. This one allows you to look at each deck and see which cards relevant to that deck can be added to your hand with First Penguin. In Mermails, you have Greatle Dragon, which can add Abyssteus and Ice Jade Ron. Sea Dragon Lord, which can add Dragoons, or Deep Sea Repertoire can also add Dragoons. Ascan, which can add Coelacanth. Then you have Christian Dynomist, level 5 through level 3s. They don't really like to be waterlocked, so the other archetype is Ice Barrier, which can add Revealer. Ghoti, which can add Abyss Shark and Coelacanth. They don't have anything that can add their level 4 fish, so I suspect we could be getting a level 5 water synchro fish perhaps in the future. And then we have sharks. Sharks can, well, it has a tight extra deck, but if you can squeeze in an Aryan Post, you can search Abyss Shark, Crystal Shark, Dream Shark, Cutter Shark. These cards are not really used that often, but Abyss Shark is kind of relevant here. It kind of benefits sharks because Abyss Shark, having 3 copies of it, can be kind of bricky. But if you can replace 2 copies of Abyss Shark for something like a First Penguin, which can search Abyss Shark, then you have more ways to search Abyss Shark, more ways to do 1-card combos, less bricks in your deck. Maybe you still might want to keep the 3 Abyss Sharks, but it is nice to have even more 1-card combos, which can potentially increase the amount of non-engine you can squeeze into your deck. Then we also have Toxic Bachfish, which can search Armored Shark, though we're not really using Armored Shark. Then you have Necroz. I don't really play Necroz, so I don't know too much about whether or not this will benefit Necroz. And then you have Plunder Patrol, a deck that doesn't really like to be waterlocked. On the next page here, we have Yuumi Control, which gets its first 1-card combo. Bryonic can let you add Kairyu-Shen, and because you didn't use a normal summon, you can normal summon that Kairyu-Shen and then add Sea Stealth 2. So this is really big for Yuumi Control, though It is kind of sucky that you cannot add jellyfish. It would be pretty big news if we do get a level 5 aqua synchro monster for Yumi Control to search jellyfish. Then we also have Aryan Post, which can search a Bishark if you're using a Yumi Control deck with sharks. This is good news for you. Then we also have MK11, which can be searched, but you know, we're not really using that. Ice Jade can search Ice Jade Kingfisher, Ice Jade Brawn, H0 Casis, Ice Jade Tremora. Not Adrian yet. Penguins. Penguins benefits the most. A deck that's seen absolutely no relevancy in a very long time and maybe never. And now it's got its first real starter. Then there's Gishki, which can add Gishki Shadow, Water Dragons, which can add a Light Water Dragon, and Gradle, which can add Gradle Slime. Now to get into some juicy combos, it's still early, just keep that in mind. So we're going to special summon the Penguin, add the Abyss Shark. Then special summon the Abyss Shark and add Harpooner. This is a 1-card combo Coelacanth combo. And then we're going to go into the Aryan Post in the extra monster zone. You special summon the Sykes. Sykes will add Coelacanth. Sykes will then banish itself. Then you special summon that Coelacanth with Harpooner. Special summon 2 tuners Leaffish. You can also special summon Zep here. Level 2 tuner and Coelacanth will go into Coral Dragon. You draw a card. Then with the level 2 in Aryan Post, you go into Dragite. Aryan Post will let you add Snopios to the hand. And then using a level 2 in Leaffish, you go into Porpoise. Porpoise will special summon the Harpooner. And then you special summon Snopios, target itself. It will banish when it leaves the field. When you synchro into Jameer, Snopios will then banish a fish from the graveyard, adding Snopios to your hand. On the opponent's turn, you get back your Schiff and Paces. Same combo, but done a different way. We're going to special summon Keef and Harpooner instead of Zep and Leaffish. First, we make Croco Dragon, draw a card. Then we summon Dragite, banish the Coelacanth, add Snopios. And then Keef and Harpooner will make White Aura Porpoise. Porpoise will special summon the Harpooner. Now we can banish Keef and Paces, special summon Snopios, target itself, banish it when it leaves the field to synchro into Jameer, and then banish a fish to add Snopios to the hand. On the opponent's turn, you get Keef and Schiff on the field. It's a bit more risky because it does rely on your opponent special summoning and Keef resolving to get that Paces back from the banish zone. This is a combo you would do if you already have Zep in the hand or graveyard. That way you still have something to combo with Snopios once the board gets wiped from the first Deep Beyond. Most people are not going to do Coelacanth combos, so let's look at combos without it. You use Gardens to add the Penguin, special summon the Penguin, discard 1 card, reveal a Synchro, level 6 to add Abyss Shark, special summon the Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark will add Leaffish. We haven't used our normals, so we're going to normal summon that Leaffish, activate Leaffish to send Shift to the graveyard, and then synchro into White Aura Porpoise, special summon that Shift to go into Aryan Post, and then banish the Sykes. Sykes will banish Abyss Shark, special summon the Sykes. Sykes will then add Keef. Keef will be banished by Sykes, and then we're gonna link into Anemone using Shift and Aryan Post to go into Dragite, banish the Aryan Post to add Snopios to the hand. Snopios will then banish that Shift and White Aura Porpoise, target itself. This is a 1-card combo that involves you not starting with any fish or any of your other Ghoti cards. And as a result, you're forced to have Shift and Paces on the field with Snopios, which sucks because after the first Deep Beyond, your Snopios gets banished, and the second Deep Beyond, your Snopios gets banished again and you won't get it back. I'm going to show you another 1-card combo that's better, but first I need to show you one that's worse to explain why it's better. So here we're going to go for Abyss Shark, normal summon that Leaffish. Leaffish will then send the Shift to the graveyard, and then we're going to go into a Aryan Post. Aryan Post banishes the Sykes. Sykes banishes Abyss Shark, special summon the Sykes, add Aspaschool, banish the Aspaschool, so we're not banishing Paces, and then special summon the Aspaschool, summon Anemone, special summon the Shift, go into a Dragite. Now you can banish the Aryan Post and add a Snopios to your hand. This time around you have a fish on the field, and so you're able to banish Shift. You don't need Snopios to banish it and summon Snopios on the field. The problem with this combo is it has Psychs on the field, so if your opponent does something like Dark Ruler no more, you're not going to be able to do any combos from here. So we're going to look at a different combo. In this combo, we're going to be using White Aura Porpoise to get Psychs in the graveyard. So first we're going to do the Penguin, discard a card, special add the Abyss Shark, special summon that Abyss Shark, add a Leaf Fish, normal summon that Leaf Fish, send Shift to the graveyard, go into a White Aura Porpoise, special summon the Shift, then go into Aryan Post, banish the Psychs, Psychs banishes Abyss Shark, special summon that Psychs, add Aspaskull, banish the Aspaskull, and then special summon that Aspaskull. Using Psychs and that Aspaskull, that's how you special summon the Shift, go into a Dragite, banish that Aryan Post, add the Snopios, now you can banish the Shift. So on that following turn, we'll get that Shift on the field with White Aura Porpoise. So if for some reason we do get negated on the field, we can still access Zep by banishing that Psychs with our Snopios to synchro into a Deep Beyond. This has the same number of disruptions as our previous two combos, but it's more resistant to disruptions such as a Dark Ruler no more. There is another trick we can do here for a little bit more spice. So you can special summon that Snopios and then link it away into a Link 3, into the Mermail King. Though you want to put the Mermail King in the other extra monster zone, don't do what I did. And that protects all three of your monsters from targeting effects. You'll still have the Psychs in the graveyard, but if you don't have another fish alongside it, maybe a fish in your hand, then you won't have two fish to banish with Snopios to trigger that Psychs in the graveyard and add a Zep to your hand and banishing it to summon that Deep Beyond. Two card combos are where this deck actually shines with First Penguin. So First Penguin plus pretty much any Ghoti card will end on the same exact end board. So we're going to look at one involving Aspaskull and First Penguin. You discard the Aspaskull, you go for the Abyss Shark, then the Leaf Fish, send the Shift to the graveyard, go into our White Aura Porpoise, special summon that Shift, go into Aryan Post, banish the Psychs, Psychs banish Aspaskull, then we add the Paces. We don't have to add Aspaskull since we already started with it. So now we can do our combo just like in the last one. We go into Dragite, banish the Aryan Post, add Snopios, and then we'll go into our Mermail King. Add the Snopios back to the hand, special summon both our Paces and Shift. Pretty much any two card combo ends on this board. If you started with Leaf Fish, then you would use Abyss Shark to add Aspaskull. If you started with any of our tuners, then you would just discard them and add Aspaskull with Psychs and still do the same combo. This two card combo also ends with two fish in the graveyard, so Snopios will always have a way to banish Psychs, even after you summoned Mermail King. Now we're going to look at what a good hand looks like. It's a 3-card combo to explore the most you can get out of this deck. And also we're going to be using the field spell, just because we want to see what the new cards can do with the field spell. So you can discard that field spell since we know that we're going to be adding Keith later, and we'll be adding Abyss Shark here. Special summon that Abyss Shark, add the Aspaskull. Then we're going to go into our White Aura Porpoise. Special summon the Shift, go into Aryan Post. Banish the Psychs. Psychs will banish Aspaskull. Trigger the Psychs first. Chain block with Aspaskull. Add the Paces, banish the Paces. Then we're going to link away our Psychs and Aspaskull, sending them to the graveyard. Going to a Dragite. No, we don't want to add Aspaskull yet, so ignore this mistake here. Do not banish. Send it back into the hand. We're going to add Keith instead. Send those banished fish back into the graveyard. Special summon that Keith, banish the Keith, add the depths to the hand. Activate that field spell, banish a fish from the graveyard to add the Snopios to the hand. And if we want to, we can then go into Mermail King, leaving 3 spaces empty that Mermail King will target. So we have targeting protection to our tuners and Keith. So there we have it. Leave a comment if you have any ideas of how you would do these combos differently. Ciao, ciao.